They told her, "You better be out of this town by nightfall, girl." But she didn't make it. In 1974, a black college student named Veronica Ellis vanished in a town with no name on the map. No body, no suspects, no investigation. Just a warning whispered to every black traveler since. Don't stop in Harper's Hollow after dark. For 40 years, her name was forgotten until a construction crew made a discovery no one was supposed to see. Veronica was 22, top of her class at Howard, a rising poet, and proud of it. She was on her way to a civil rights conference in Atlanta, driving alone in her Dodge Dart. Windows rolled down, notebooks in the back seat. But she never made it. Somewhere along Highway 81, she took a wrong turn, ended up in Harper's Hollow, a town not listed on road signs, not on GPS, not in tourist maps. Locals knew it existed, but nobody black ever talked about it, and those who tried were warned. That night, a truck driver passing through said he saw her car parked at an old gas station next to a rusted sign that read, "Sunset by skin color." He didn't stop. He wanted to, but in towns like that, stopping could get you killed too. By morning, Veronica was gone, and Harper's Hollow denied she was ever there. No missing posters made the national news. The sheriff said she probably ran off. Her family begged for help, but got silence. That's when they learned the truth. Harper's Hollow was a sundown town, a place where black people could pass through, but not stay, not even for gas, not even to ask directions, not even to survive. Then, 41 years later, in 2015, everything changed. A development company started breaking ground to build a new highway bypass. They were demolishing an old grain silo near Harper's Hollow. At first, it was just rubble, concrete, rusted tools. But beneath the foundation, they found something strange. A car chassis, crushed, buried under 7 feet of cement. Inside, bones, a notebook, and an ID card. Veronica Ellis. After 40 years, they found her, but nothing about the case made sense. She hadn't crashed. There were no injuries consistent with an accident. Her notebook had a final page that read, "They told me to run, but I stood my ground." Then nothing. The autopsy uncovered something chilling. She was already dead before the car was buried, and buried intentionally. Cement poured over her like a tomb, sealed in silence. This wasn't just neglect. This was a cover-up. The town's former sheriff, Walter Griggs, served until 1985. He never filed a single missing person report for a black person in 20 years. And guess who signed off on the original construction permit that buried Veronica's car? Griggs himself. When reporters tried to contact him, they were told he died in 2003. But one local source said that wasn't true. They claimed to have seen him, just last year, living under a new name. In Tennessee, facial recognition software confirmed it. Walter Griggs was alive, now using the name Howard Glenn, and living in a retirement home just outside of Nashville. When investigators approached him, he refused to speak, refused a lawyer. Then, 48 hours later, he vanished. But what if I told you that wasn't the only body buried under Harper's Hollow? And what if Veronica Ellis's notebook, the one they found in her car, contained more than poetry? Because the last page wasn't the final one. There were 6 pages torn out, and what was written on those pages has never been released to the public. Until now, signed by Charles Eastland. The lost pages of Veronica Ellis. Secrets buried deeper than her body. She died for what she knew. The story you thought was over was just the surface. Because when Veronica Ellis's body was found beneath a cement slab in a sundown town, they didn't just uncover a crime. They cracked open a conspiracy, one that spanned decades, involved mayors, sheriffs, businessmen, and pastors, and one she had documented in a notebook no one was supposed to find. But the real story, it wasn't in the notebook they gave to the media. It was in the 6 missing pages, the ones they hid. When her remains were discovered in 2015, Veronica's journal was turned over to the FBI. At least, that's what they said. But an anonymous whistleblower, a forensic technician who worked on the case, leaked something that stunned even investigators. 6 pages had been ripped out, cleanly, intentionally. And later, those pages turned up, not in an evidence locker, but in a used bookshop in Montgomery, Alabama, filed between 2 poetry anthologies. Sold for $3. The handwriting matched. Ink analysis confirmed it was Veronica's, but what she wrote was more than poetry. It was names, places, dates, and one phrase repeated across multiple pages: Operation Nightshade. What was Operation Nightshade? And why was it mentioned next to a list of towns? All in Georgia, all with one thing in common: disappeared black residents. No investigations, no press coverage, just vanished, one by one. Between 1969 and 1975, the lost pages named 11 people, all black, all young, all last seen near sundown towns. One line from Veronica's note said, "They used the grain silos, always the silos." Veronica had been following a trail, a pattern no one else dared to see. Her final note read, "They think killing me buries the truth, but someone will find this. And when they do, don't let them bury it again." The FBI reopened the case quietly in 2016. They formed a task force called Legacy Echo. But here's the twist. 2 of the agents assigned disappeared within 6 months. One was found dead in his car, gunshot to the head, labeled a suicide. The other, gone without a trace. But the story doesn't stop there. A civil rights historian named Dr. Marcia Holloway started digging into Veronica's notes. She confirmed that Operation Nightshade wasn't just theory. It was a real federal program. Launched in 1968. Its stated goal, counter-subversion in southern territories. But Holloway found documents that said otherwise. One page described the Nightshade Protocol as covert relocation and neutralization of agitators deemed a threat to civic harmony. Relocation, neutralization of who? Of students? Of activists? Of Veronica Ellis? Then, just 3 weeks ago, Dr. Marcia Holloway was set to present her findings at a conference in Chicago. She never showed up. Security footage shows her leaving her hotel at 7:03 a.m. She's never been seen since. Are we really supposed to believe? Is this a coincidence? That a poet, a historian, 2 agents, and 11 black citizens from the 70s all just vanished? Or were they erased? Like Veronica said, they think killing me buries the truth. But here's the thing. They didn't bury it deep enough. Because in the last page of Veronica's lost notes, there's a name that changes everything. A name not associated with law enforcement, not the government, but money, real estate, power. The name? He's alive. He's wealthy. He's powerful. And in 1974, he was a land developer. Guess who funded the cement project that buried Veronica's body? Eastland's company. Guess who bought the land? After her disappearance? Eastland. And guess who is now running? For governor of Georgia? That same man. He denies everything. Says he never met her. The tape that could bring down a governor. Coming in part 2. The tape that could bring down a governor. Like, follow, and share.